Hello everyone, I'm the Saxy Gamer, and today we're here for yet another Civilization 6 Rise and Fall New Leader Spotlight, where today we'll be looking at Chandragupta of India. So Chandragupta is obviously the second Indian leader to be added to Civilization 6 besides Gandhi, and his ability is Arthashastra, and what it does is it makes it so that he can declare a war of territorial expansion after gaining the military training civic, and he gets +2 movement and +5 combat strength for the first 10 turns after declaring a war of territorial expansion. So Arthashastra is actually, it's pretty good. It's one of the better casus bellis I found because it allows you to really just just beat up on your neighbors so well. I believe that the requirements for a war of territorial expansion is, I want to say it might be 2 or 3 cities within so many tiles of another civilization, and if once that is completed, you can denounce them and then declare war of territorial expansion, and then you can just go and, ransack all their stuff. It is a pretty good casus belli. It'll help you get a lot less warmonger penalties, and the extra movement and combat strength is nice, and it does play well towards Chandragupta's general playstyle. So overall, Arthashastra is pretty good. His second ability is Dharma, which is just kind of the Indian civilization ability, and it makes it so that he receives follower belief bonuses in a city from a religion, or from each religion that has at least one follower. And Dharma, it's not bad, but it's really not that great. It's going to require that you have other civilizations that like to spread their religion to you, which they often do. They often do like to spam missionaries everywhere, but if you're going to be focusing on domination, you're probably not going to be focusing on religion, so you really aren't going to benefit too much from extra follower beliefs. I mean, sure, some nice bonuses here and there will help, but overall Dharma is just kind of and it also is reliant on hoping that the AI picks good follower beliefs, which we know how the AI is in Civ 6, so no guarantees on that one. So those are Chandragupta's abilities. Let's move on to his unique unit. So Chandragupta's unique unit in Rise and Fall is the Varu, which is a special unit that replaces the Horseman. It is a horse, it's not a horse at all, it's an elephant, and it has a melee strength of 40, which is +5 from a Horseman. It only has 2 movement, which is 1 less than the Horseman, and it has a production cost of 120, which is 40 more than the Horseman. In addition to this, adjacent units to the Varu lose 5 combat strength, and this does stack with multiple Varu, so if you have 3 Varu surrounding an enemy, that enemy will be losing 15 combat strength. So overall, the Varu it's a pretty okay unique unit. The +5 melee strength as compared to Horseman is kind of not good. The -1 movement from Horseman is really not good because that's pretty much the strength of the Horseman in the early game, is that they can move fast and hit pretty decently, so losing 1 movement sucks. But you can kind of remedy that if you declare war of territorial expansion, so you get +2 movement. And in addition to that, the +40 production, it is quite painful, especially in the early games. Since these replace Horsemen, your cities aren't going to have too much production by the time you get them. So requiring 40 more production, that's an extra 50% from the 80 that it would take to build a Horseman, so that is a pretty significant cost. So that is something to consider with the Varu. Their unique ability is actually quite strong, that adjacent units receive -5 combat strength. You can use this to have like a front line of Varu that just help to weaken your enemies, while maybe you have archers at the back that are shooting them, and then you can just send your melee units in. Your melee units won't lose too much health because the enemies will be weaker, and you can just kind of stomp through people in the early game. So the Varu, overall, it's good, but it's just barely good. Like it definitely has some significant drawbacks in the increased production cost and less movement. But aside from that, it's a pretty alright unique unit. The unique tile improvement for India is, well, it's the one for India, so the same one Gandhi has, which is the Stepwell, which is a unique tile improvement that unlocks with Irrigation. It provides +1 food and +1 housing. Then you get +1 additional food with professional sports, +1 additional housing with sanitation, and +1 faith with feudalism. In addition to this, you will get +1 food if you are adjacent to a farm, and +1 faith if adjacent to a holy site. So overall, the Stepwell it's not good, but it's not bad. Like it's bordering bad. It's pretty okay in the early game because 1 housing that's fairly appreciable, and like if you can get the +2 food for being adjacent to a farm, a tile with +1 housing and +2 food, and maybe even +1 faith as well. That's pretty strong in the early game, but as you progress, the Stepwell gets less and less good. Really starts to show really just the weaknesses it has and how it doesn't really get that many bonuses, because maximum you could get would be +3 food and +2 faith, and +2 housing, which is not really that great, because if you wanted food, you could just build farms, and the adjacency with feudalism, you could get a much higher yield farm. If you wanted faith, I guess this is a good way to get faith, but you'd probably be better off just getting holy site adjacency bonuses and doing it that way in the late game. Not to mention the fact that whenever you're playing Chandragupta, you don't really want to be focused too hard on religion. So for that reason, Stepwell, it's kind of eh. It's pretty alright in the early game, but after that, it really starts to show its faults. And now, with all of these things in mind, let's move on and discuss some of the strengths and weaknesses of Chandragupta and the Indians in Civilization 6. So strengths, the first thing I can think of is that their unique casus belli it's fairly good, actually. It has its strengths, especially in the early game, whenever, you want to just war with your neighbors and take them out of the game, like, really early. The unique casus belli is pretty good because it helps, mitigate the warmonger penalties. The extra 5 combat strength can be pretty strong in the early game, and the extra movement as well can be really strong in the early game when you don't have, like, too many cavalry units or anything of the sort that can move around really fast. So territorial expansion war, pretty good. I just wish that it would, stay relevant a little bit longer. That's kind of the problem, is that it kind of falls off as you progress later in the game and your warmonger penalties stack up, so you don't really need to get like the lesser warmonger penalty because everybody hates you anyways. But as far as the early game goes, the War of Territory expansion is pretty freaking good. The other strength is that the Stepwell is good in the early game, having +2 food and +1 housing and probably +1 faith as well. That is a pretty nice bonus to have in the early game, especially if you are going for religion. Getting +1 faith from a tile improvement can be very nice. It can help boost your faith output, allow you to get more missionaries and stuff like that, and spam your religion out as much as you want. So at least in the early game, the Stepwell is pretty good. As far as weaknesses go, well, the first one that comes to mind is that Chandragupta is really not versatile. You really want to go domination with Chandragupta. The problem is he's not really that great at domination, and he does have some bonuses to religion, so you kind of want to play that weird, like, domination religion playstyle, but that's really all you can do. There's almost no reason to go for science or culture, because they just get no bonuses towards it. So, not versatile. They're really locked into what they have to do, and in addition to that, they can just use a few more bonuses, because even with what they don't do it all that well. Like, if you wanted to go domination, you could play Shaka and be about 1,000,000 times better off than Chandragupta, because Chandragupta, he has bonuses, but they're just not good in comparison to, like, a few of the other civilizations. Even Genghis Khan has a lot more like domination bonuses compared to Chandragupta, or even Spain has more religion bonuses than poor Chandragupta does. So for that reason, they really are lacking in their general bonuses, and especially the edges they have over other civilizations. And now it is that time to give Chandragupta his tier ranking. So if you're new to this series, I give each civilization a tier ranking in each of the 4 victory types, so domination, science, culture, and religion, because I exclude score, and I give them an overall rank that just kind of pairs them or compares them against the other leaders in the game, and takes into account more than just their victory conditions and their possibility to get victory. So it takes into account, like, how good is their unit, how good is their tile improvement, are they versatile, what can you do with them, such things like that. So tier rankings go from S to F, with S being the highest and F being pretty terrible. So without further ado, let's rank Chandragupta. So first up we have domination, and I think for domination, Chandragupta deserves a B. The War of Territory expansion, pretty good. It falls off a little bit later, and the Varu as well is pretty good, but it really, well, I mean, it takes a while before you can upgrade, because I believe it upgrades into a tank, so you really cannot upgrade it for a long time. So the Varu as well, it doesn't get that many bonuses. It has some definite drawbacks from, the higher production costs and less movement, but overall it's still pretty okay. So overall, I think Chandragupta is deserving of a B in domination. When it comes to science, he definitely deserves a C, because he literally has no bonuses towards science whatsoever. You might want to still build a few campuses, because if you're going to go domination, you want to make sure you don't fall behind in tech, but you're definitely not going to be going for a science victory, because you have no bonuses. And if you want to go for a science victory, don't play Chandragupta. Play someone that is way better. Like, you could play Scotland or Korea, or just any of the other civs that actually get bonuses towards science. But he doesn't really have anything that, makes him, that gives him any drawbacks towards science, so for that reason, he's going to get a C. In culture, he's pretty much more of the same. He's going to get a C in culture. You're probably not gonna ever go for culture, but once again, you don't really have anything that hurts you. You're probably not even gonna build very many theater squares because, like, it doesn't really matter if you fall too far behind in culture because you're probably gonna be stomping over your enemies anyway, so if they get ahead, just take them out of the game and who cares. But you're definitely not gonna be going for a culture victory with Chandragupta because there's no reason to. You might as well play someone else that actually gets bonuses, so for that reason, he gets a C. And as far as religion goes, he's going to get a B. I mean, sure, you have the Stepwell, which is nice. Getting a little bit more faith can be helpful, especially in the early game, to help spread your religion across the continent. Another thing you might want to do is go the domination and religion route, where you spread your religion. You get the thing that I can't remember what type of belief it is, but the one that makes it so that you have increased combat strength over civs of other religions, so you can, wait for them to convert, take them, just destroy them, and then convert those cities to your religion, and get some bonuses from that. So you definitely probably want to go for the religion and domination, like wombo combo right there. So for that reason, they are going to get a B. They're not bad in religion, but they're just kind of okay. And as far as the overall rank for Chandragupta goes, I am going to give him a D. He's not a bad leader, he's not awful, he's not Tamar, flashbacks to last episode, yeah, but he's really not good. He's probably in, like, maybe the bottom 5 to 10 of the civs in the game region, so he's really just lacking a lot of bonuses. He's not versatile. The bonuses he does have are just pretty bad in comparison to a lot of other civs, like Domination. Shaka is infinitely better. Even Genghis Khan is a lot better. Religion, you could even play Spain, and Spain, aside from their religion bonuses, is pretty much a terrible civilization. You could play Nubia, which is way better in religion. Even Tamar is probably better in religion than Chandragupta is. So for that reason, he's just really lacking in edge over anyone else, and he gets a D because he's not awful, but he's just really not that good. So thank you everyone for watching. I have been the Saxy Gamer. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you're looking for more Civilization 6 content, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.